Hello everybody, Dokkan Assets here. Today we are back with another figure unboxing video. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a very exciting day, but also a bit of a somber one. We have finally reached the end of our Dokkan Battle Ichiban Kuji excursion. It has been quite the wild ride unboxing all of these 6th anniversary Dokkan figures for all of you guys. I'm so glad that you guys have been enjoying the videos up until this point. Lots of great figures in this set, lots of great Dokkan Battle cards represented, but we ended off with the OG GOAT himself, Int LR Gohan. This is going to be an interesting one, ladies and gentlemen. I already have a couple of things to say about this figure before we even get it started. I'll save it for when we open them up, but the first thing is, again, I mentioned this in another video, but like, where'd the card go? On the Japanese version of these boxes, they had the card art, and like, it says Dokkan Battle on it. Obviously, this says Dragon Ball, but it says, it's right there, bro. Wait, no, there you go. It says right there. I don't understand why they took the card art off. Obviously, oh my gosh, my camera's having a light show. I apologize about that. Obviously, if this is a Dokkan Battle figure, why not just put the card art on it? Because then, you know, people will know. Like, obviously, if you keep up with Dokkan, this one might be, you know, a figure that you would recognize in terms of, like, the Dokkan pose. But I don't know. It's just kind of weird to me that they would remove it. I will say, though, this one, probably out of all of them, is probably the least, like, Dokkan Battle-esque, I guess, if that makes sense, because obviously since this pose is just kind of a iconic Gohan, I'm sorry, I meant Super Saiyan 2 Gohan pose, I feel like it's more iconic to him than it is to Dokkan. Like, the Goku Black pose is pretty iconic, yes, but I feel like the effects sort of give you like, oh, it's the Dokkan one, or like the LR Godku one, especially in the B-Pan ones, I feel like are definitely great points of like, yeah, you know, that's the Dokkan version of that. I don't know. Very weird. Also, super weird angles. I just wanted to point that out before we move past the box. Like, why'd they do it at a top-down angle? Because, like, this doesn't look too bad. We will critique it when we get it out. But, again, it's, like, sort of top-down. I don't know. That makes me a little bit worried because it almost makes me think, well, does that mean that the actual figure, like, only looks good from that angle? Like, what are we dealing with here, boys? Speaking of which, you can see that this box is minuscule. Like, look at this, bro. I can literally fit my whole hand around that. Granted, I do have pretty big hands, but still, I was like, dang. Oh, and wow, he's already in one piece. Okay. Let's go ahead and slip him out. Now, obviously, he is going to be a little bit of a smaller figure, just like B-Pan is. Of course, the Goku Black, I guess I should be saying Zamasu Goku, but Goku Black, for simplicity's sake, he becomes Goku Black, so it's fine. And then obviously God Goku and Trunks are all like the bigger figures in this set, while the Pan and the Gohan are the smaller ones. First of all, before we even get into anything about the figure, already a solid dub in the fact that they didn't just make this base black. They could have made it clear as well, but I actually really like the fact that they went with blue, because obviously, you know, he's firing the Kamehameha, and he's kind of in the middle of the Kamehameha. Oh, no! Okay. Wow. I'm looking at the figure already, and your boy is not too pleased with the face. All right, so wow, this thing is so small. Like, here's the thing that's so crazy to me, right? Like, I understand the Ichiban Kuji figures, their standard price is $36 nowadays, right? Like, that's just how it goes. But for a figure this small, like, look at this. Look at the size of this thing. Especially compared to, like, other figures that are only 20, it's just so weird to me. Let's take a look at the sculpting and move our way up to the face, though. We have the boots that do look very nice. I do like the Namekian 5s. They look great. Obviously, you know, this outfit is the look that Gohan takes when he's literally, you know, shooting the Kamehameha itself. Knee looks good. I do like the way that they did the rip in the pants very well. Unfortunately, not a big fan of that, though. That, obviously, is literally they made the rip in the pants and then they painted it in there. It just looks cheap. It looks a little bit bootleggy, and frankly, I am just not a big fan of how that looks. That one looks a little bit better, though, for sure. Gohan's broken arm here Looks alright. Unfortunately, there is a little bit of back gapping on mine right there, as you can see. This is so small, bro. Like, look at how small that is in between my fingers. I feel like I'm covering up the face on purpose, by the way. The body does look good. Let's just break the mold here. So, I will tell you... Oh, wow, there's a lot to say. For one, I did already know that in terms of the face sculpt, this was going to be the weakest character. From the moment that they showed all of the figures, I was like, yeah, Gohan's face is by far the worst in my opinion. But I think that this looks even worse than the box. Like, I understand that the box has these shadows to, you know, make this look more, like, epic, I guess, for lack of a better word. But, like, his left eye, or at least from our perspective, his left eye, I guess it would be his right eye, is definitely a lot more up than it is, like, on the box here, right? I feel like even the... Yeah, like, it almost looks like they tilted the eyes in Photoshop a little bit. Very weird. This bang, I feel like, also is, like, too far that way. I don't know. It doesn't look different from on the box as much, but still a little bit jarring. Yeah, unfortunately, he didn't come out the best. Let's talk about the rest of it before we look at it. I do like this whole meme that they did with the Kamehameha ball. Obviously, that is pretty cool, of course, with each one of these figures having an effect. It is nice that they did give him this little ball here that's the Kamehameha. Now, the only thing, though, about this is, like, considering how extravagant the rest of the figures are in terms of their effects, it kind of surprises me that they were just like, clear blue marble, call it good. Like, it surprises me that they didn't add more effects onto this. Like, I almost was thinking that when I heard about this, and I was like, oh, so it's going to have an effect like the GX Materia Goku. No. Especially considering how huge this Kamehameha is in the actual scene, it's really surprising to me that they gave him, you know, like a volleyball to chuck around. I don't know. The rest of the sculpt, though, is pretty good. I mean, I do like the very, like, thin spikes of the hair. It looks very Super Saiyan 2. This doesn't bother me as much, because I guess the excuse you can use is it's like flowing in the wind of the Kamehameha. I will say the one cool thing about this figure is that you are seeing some blue tones on the face and on the hair. That isn't your eyes deceiving you or anything I'm doing with the camera. That's actually painted lightly on the figure to give it like the effect of the energy, you know, the light is coming off of the key, right? That's what it's supposed to emulate in this scene, which is pretty cool, and it honestly makes more sense considering that the card art is, well, blue. It's all blue. So obviously, you know, if they were going to make it based off the card art, you know, they got to make it blue a little bit. It's kind of interesting to me they didn't just make it like all blue like the card art. I don't know. From some angles, I will say, like, this looks pretty cool like this. You know, that's a pretty good angle for the figure, but that face is just, it's just not doing it for me, bro. The camera's having a hard time choosing whether to focus on the Kamehameha ball or the face, by the way. Let's go ahead and put the stand on. I will tell you, this is one figure that definitely isn't going to be standing without the stand. Maybe? Here, hold on. Let me eat my words real quick. No, yeah, I definitely think that he's not good. No, yeah. Okay. I think that it goes here? That would only make sense, yeah. Okay, and then his back foot just supports him. So then that's how the figure looks like that. Kind of unfortunate this guy ended up that way. Almost kind of more unfortunate this ended up being the figure that we're ending with. I do want to see, with these angles that they have on the box, so like, this is the angle that they're going for. Would it be like this? That doesn't even look close. Yeah, definitely the figure on the box. The face is certainly a little bit different. I mean, that makes sense because obviously they use the production images for the box and they don't use what the final figure looks like, which Bandai being Bandai, but it also almost looks like there's more like darker lines around his eyes to kind of emphasize it. I don't know. This is definitely one, though, like, sadly enough, you know, I think that all of these figures so far have been pretty solid. Like, literally, the first 4 that we've taken a look at have been pretty good. But this is probably the only one out of the whole bunch that I really couldn't recommend. Like, the figure looks good in terms of the sculpt besides the face. Everything else about it, I think, is not bad. Obviously, he's walking forward, which looks cool. You know, I do like the down arm. I like the Kamehameha ball that they went with, even though I would have preferred more effects. But, like, I feel like that face, I just can't justify it. Especially telling you to pay 35, 36 bucks for this? No way, bro, especially considering the size that we're about to get into right now with this figure. Let's go ahead and compare him to our other figures that we usually do, of course being Gotenks. Putting these in the back, I think you can already tell that, yeah. Gohan do be kind of small, though. Look at how tiny he is compared to Gotenks even. Wow. We can move these guys up a little bit, I guess. It's like, it's not even just the fact of the size of the figure that's kind of getting me, you know, a little bit flustered about the price. I think it's also just the fact of, like, the, you know, how big it is in terms of just, like, scale. Like, look at that. That's only, what, 6 inches-ish? Like, maybe a little bit more than 6 inches? Yeah, that's ludicrous for that price, especially. I knew this guy was going to be small, but even B-Pan, like, absolutely decimates this guy in terms of size. Alright, well, let's go ahead and grab some other comparisons. Since he's been our standard throughout all of these videos, here's the homie Vegeta chilling with our boy. Oh my gosh, look at how small he is compared to him. My gosh, like, I know I keep saying, like, oh, look how small he is, haha, funny, but, like, even Vegeta, who's really not that big of a figure, still absolutely towers over this guy in stature and in height. My gosh, this guy is so tiny. This is almost like, I don't know. I feel like this figure is more of like a $10 figure than anything. Like, keep in mind, that's 20 bucks that I paid for that Vegeta, right? How is this even possible, bro? I don't know who at Bandai thought that this was a good idea to make it that size. Oh my gosh. I do want to actually show you the GX Materia Goku, since he was pretty close to the front of my shelf and he was a pretty easy grab. Not only is he so much taller than Goku, let me actually adjust the angle for you. This is what I was talking about when it comes to the Kamehameha effect. Obviously, the GX Materia line is pretty well known for having these really, really cool effects on all of their different figures. But, of course, this being the only current Kamehameha one that I have out of the box anyway, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, this is just a really good example of, like, something that they could do in terms of, you know, making this better for the future. Funny enough, I do almost like the coloring on the Ichiban Kuji one a little bit better, because it almost looks like the colors more rather than the, like, sparkly thing that they're going for with the GX Materia line. I do like the shading from the white to blue on the figure, but at the same time, obviously those beams give Goku a lot more presence than Gohan. Well, not to mention his size, I suppose. But it makes the figure feel a lot better, and it makes the Kamehameha feel a lot more impactful than if you just plucked all of those off and had Goku chilling there with the ball, you know what I mean? I am glad, though, that they didn't go the GX Materia route on the hands. Since this was GX Materia's first rodeo, they did do this thing where they kind of made Goku's hands a little bit dirty. That's supposed to be like the key effect, like kind of coming off of his hands. I don't think it looks that good. That's literally probably the only complaint I have about this figure. So, yeah. Definitely, they could have done something like that. There is a GX Materia Gohan they will be opening up at some point. I do own it. I just haven't cracked into it yet. And I will bring this Gohan out before I maybe sell him, because I don't know. Like, the more I look at him, I'm like, ew. And I will give you 2 more figure comparisons for today from the Ichiban Kuji set that we have been trucking through so far. This one is really going to blow your mind, ladies and gentlemen. Here's God Goku. Oh my gosh, bro. Small, tiny. What else do I say about the size, bro? I think you understand the point by now, but wow, that is minuscule. To give you a little bit of a better idea of how small this guy really is, though, I think it's important to bring out the other smaller figure in this set, of course, that being the B-Pam figure. And here's the thing, right? Not only is this Gohan, like, smaller than B-Pan is, which I feel like I'm committing an atrocity just saying that, it's like B-Pan makes sense for her size compared to the other characters, even though she's obviously designed to be a smaller figure than, you know, the other bigger figures in this set. Gohan should not be that small. Like, even though I still think that B-Pan's cost was, you know, a little bit too high for her, I'm still willing to pay it a little bit more because, of course, you know, it's, well, sculpted a lot nicer than Gohan is with, unfortunately, that ugly mug. But it makes sense, and it's like, it's a decent size, right? This is like Like this, I think it also helps that it's on a stand too, to be fair. But she's still miles bigger than Gohan is. I don't know, man. Very disappointed with the size on my boy here. I know I'm kind of giving you a little bit of a tease that I'm not bringing out all of the Kuji figures for this round, but I will be doing that video, so I kind of want to save having them all in the same video for that particular vid. So keep an eye out for that. That is going to be a very interesting one to film. I think I already know who's at the bottom of the tier list. But I hope you guys enjoyed nonetheless. Of course, if you would like to pick up this figure, you can do so in the link in the description. I will leave a link for a place that you can get it. And if you do pick it up from Amazon, I'll get a little bit of an extra cost with no extra cut. Wait, no, I completely mixed that up. No extra cost to you, small cut to me. There you go. Though, like I said throughout this video, I don't even really think that I can recommend it. Like, the only reason why I would recommend it is if you're trying to be a completionist and get every Dokkan Battle figure, which even me, was very tempted to do that. Some of the really stinky Dokkan Battle figures I still refuse to buy, and this guy is kind of coming into that realm a little bit for me. Obviously, I want to get it to review it, but don't buy it. If you would like to support me looking at more bad figures in the future, though, definitely go hit me up on the old Patreon. Your boy has some fun rewards on there if you'd like to give your boy some extra support. Please don't feel obligated, though. Obviously, you liking, subscribing, and enjoying the video, most importantly, is obviously all I need. But there is one more thing we have to do before this video ends. We do have to announce the giveaway winner for Vegeta. Yeah, Gohan, get out of the way, bro. Thank you guys so much for all of your entries. I'm so excited that I got to give away this figure because obviously not only is this a pretty big figure in terms of just Dragon Ball figure collecting, but obviously in terms of Dokkan, it's a pretty big deal, I'd have to say. So, the winner is currently on screen now. Thank you so much to everybody who entered. Of course, I will get in contact with you. Please hit me up on Twitter. Of course, I've also already replied to your comment by this point. Thank you again so much for participating. I am glad that I'm able to do stuff like this and give back to my community. I'm fortunate enough that I have a community to give back to in the first place. Is probably the more important thing, all things considered. Because what, I'd just be giving this to, you know, Joe Schmo down the street. I don't know. It means a lot that y'all are watching is what I'm trying to say. Thank you guys so much for watching, though, nonetheless. Hope you guys have enjoyed this series so far. Again, we're going to cap it off with a final video, taking a look at all of the figures once I kind of collect my thoughts on everything, because I got to think about everything a lot more now, especially I've gotten my hands on Stinky Boy Gohan, unfortunately. But I will catch you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Dokkan Assets out.